Oh.
Hello, Gav.
John, it's either George or Mr. Gavin. Are we on the same wavelength or not? Thank you very much. Goodbye.
No.
02135940111. Brian, hello.
Hello, George.
Right.
That is Georgie Best, isn't it? Right. Hello, George.
Cheerio. Let's get it sensible, shall we? On an even keel. John again, number 3. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Gavin. Tell me.
No, thanks. Goodbye. 02135940111. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. Don't worry. No one is going to get to me this evening, all right? 02135940111.
They need him. You look at the players he's brought in and the squad he's got.
He's the best manager. He's the best manager in Britain at the moment.
Yeah.
I accept that, but
now isn't it? Well, all right,
you wouldn't beg him.
Isn't it worth begging then to get the best manager in Britain for the local club round here?
Hang on. He might be the best manager in Britain at the moment.
No, you said he was. You said he was.
No, all right. He's the best manager in Britain at the moment,
right.
But he's also got the privilege of working for one of the best clubs in the country.
No doubt he has.
So why should the best club in the country beg him?
Well, I'll tell you what, you're wrong. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as being the best club or one of the best clubs. There's no such thing. You only prove that by winning things. And the best club over the last few years could well be Wimbledon.
Well, I hope Doug Ellis persuades him to stay. I really do. Because the Villa are in a very important position. Forget what happens this season. They're in a transition period, and they need Graham Taylor for another 4 years.
Yeah, and we can beg.
You want to beg? Let him beg. Robert, have a beg. Beg, Robert. Go on, beg.
I'd just like to say to Graham Taylor that I'd really like him to stay. Everyone would be very disappointed if he left.
Doesn't sound like begging to me. Sounds like not quite begging.
Be a bit more begging here, Robert, is needed. Come on, I plead with you, Sir Graham. Please stay. A bit of that.
Right, I plead with Graham Taylor to please stay. We need him desperately. Everybody at the club loves him, and
oh no.
That's well now, Robert.
Everybody
that's
at the
well
club
done,
loves
Robert.
him.
That's a proud man talking there who stripped himself of pride to come on and say that in front of millions of people. To say that in front of millions, it takes a lot of guts on your behalf, Robert. You're a gutsy man. I respect you for it. Well done.
Sounds like a wimp to me.
I'll take a break.
And secondly, do you wear knickers?
Let's go to
a little point about that. You expect Graham Taylor to get this award, which I'm sure is very much deserved 3 months on the row, but it doesn't make him the best manager. What it does is say that he's been the best manager over the last 3 months, and I think you mustn't take things out of context, out of perspective.
Paisley never did that.
He's never won anything. Graham Taylor has never won anything.
Clough never did that.
They've won things.
And never got 3 in a row.
Now, don't put me in a position where I'm knocking Graham Taylor, because I'm not. All I'm saying is it says that he's the best manager over 3 months, if he gets it tomorrow. The best manager over 3 months. It doesn't say he's the best manager now and the best manager ever. It doesn't say that.
I'm saying that. No, you're quite right. It won't say on the Barclays bottle of champagne, it won't say the best manager ever, Sir Graham Taylor. It won't say that. I will say that. I've been saying that for 2.5 years. I'll say it tonight. I'll say it tomorrow. I'll say it for the next 3 months.
I thought you said that him getting the award confirms that he's the best manager.
Confirms my opinion. It is now official. It is not just me crying in the wilderness. It is not just me, some echo in the distance, shouting out a lone and forlorn voice. It is no longer that. It is now the world of football has finally come to recognise what I've been saying for 3 years. Suddenly...
What's that?
Suddenly, I'm not out of step. Suddenly, the whole football world has fallen into stride with me.
And that is?
He is the best. And he has been the best for the last 3 years. He's the best now. He may not be the best in 2 or 3 years' time. I'll grant you that. At this moment, 1990...
You're saying he's the best manager in Britain?
Yes. By a long chalk. 02135940111.
You know what I mean? But
when did you go to see Aston Villa, Ian?
Midweek.
Against Middlesbrough?
Yeah.
Have you seen him before this season?
Oh, no. I mean, I don't like...
Oh, Ian, thanks very much. Don't try my patience. Crazy.
Again, the atmosphere's a lot better.
Crazy.
You know. And Tom earlier on said, all the time, he said it last season, probably the season before, about Graham Taylor. He's never won anything. But why is it the people's choice for the next England manager?
Well, because he's the best around, and people are now beginning to see that. And I've seen it over 2.5 years. I've been banging the drum for that length of time because I've seen the man work. I understand him, I think,
Come answer
a little
that
bit.
one, please.
Yes, certainly. I think if you put him alongside Clough, Shankly, Paisley, Dalglish, the man hasn't won in it. Now, this is not I'm not knocking him. I did say that he's been the best. He's certainly the best manager around. He's done wonders for Aston Villa. But to start saying he's the best ever, I mean, is a nonsense till the man proves it by winning something.
He is, in your view, but I mean, if you pick up any national newspaper, he is the people's choice for the next England manager.
Hey, what does that mean? He's not the people's choice. The people's choice is Brian Clough, as everybody knows.
Oh, come on, George. Recently, you look at the back of all the national newspapers, the London ones, like, you know, The Sun, The Star, all them, and it's all Aston Villa. It's all Villa, and it's all great.
All of a sudden it's Aston Villa. All of a sudden... Hang on, it's Aston Villa all of a sudden because Aston Villa are now successful. But you know as well as I do, the people's choice for the England job was Brian Clough.
No, you said was. You just said was. But now it's Graham Taylor.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Well, OK, all I'm saying is he's a great manager, and he is a good manager, and he's done marvellous at Aston Villa, and he's going to bring success to the Midlands, which is fabulous. But when people... And I'd be the same if it was the Birmingham manager and people were going over the top. For goodness sake, you can't put him alongside Paisley, Shankly, Dalglish, Clough. You can't do that yet. I'm sure he'll get there, but you can't do it yet.
Yeah, OK. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Finished?
I'm sorry, I was asked the question. I'm awfully sorry.
Yeah, it's OK.
You obviously don't think I'm right either. I can tell by the face.
Total load of rubbish.
Why?
021 359 4011.
If you point in there, I think that actually Villa will be glad in time to come that they lost it against Middlesbrough because they could bounce back. There's always a danger after a long run that you begin to believe you'll never get beat.
Stupid. Have you never played football?
Yes.
Have you never ever
Can
played
you hear
and
me?
appreciated
Can I
football?
finish, please, just for a minute?
How can you possibly say they will appreciate losing a match?
Can I just tell you?
Stupid.
Can I just finish off what I was saying?
Yes, you can.
It just may bring everything back down, their feet on the floor, and they'll get stuck in tomorrow. And 3 points tomorrow against Queen's Park Rangers, away from home, will be worth that Zenith Cup match. I tell you. Maybe it is in your minds,
you
but
don't
I'm telling
need, if you're a professional footballer with any skill at all and any sense in your brain, you don't need to be beaten to get motivated to win again.
It can bring your feet back down on the floor.
Rubbish. Go on.
Yeah, I went to the Middlesbrough game, and
I think he's quite right about Graham Taylor, you know, what he said about being the England manager and that. Yeah, to me, he's too inconsistent.
Look, this is not a discussion about Graham Taylor. It's a fact. He is the best. Let me just tell you something.
Can the man have a say?
No, this is not a discussion programme about Graham Taylor.
We
are not discussing Graham Taylor.
You said we could discuss him because you said he was hoping to get that award tomorrow. Let him finish.
It's just a quick point. Stop cutting people off all the time. I just felt sorry for Tom because you keep picking on him, that's all. I mean, like the likes of Clough and Shankly and that, they've been doing it for years. I mean, it's just last year they were calling for his head at Villa because he had a bad season, and now because he's had a good season, now he's got to be England manager.
You're not actually saying, John, are you, that he's a bad manager? What you're saying is put things into perspective.
No.
Exactly.
I just think it's sad. It'd be very sad for English football if they did take him on to be an England manager at the moment, because they've done this in the past. They've had some manager like Greenwood and that, they've sort of had a couple of good seasons, put him in the England team, and that's it.
I am not calling for him to get the England job. Far from it.
Yes, you're getting people phoning up saying, majority of the Villa fans anyway, are saying, oh yeah, Graham Taylor's brilliant, this and that and the other, but he's too inconsistent. Anyway, the other point is, right, about all-seater stadiums, I mean, it's the government's.
Would you rather win 3 games in a row or win the title? That's the difference. They don't win 3 in a row, but they win cups and trophies.
You can't win the title without winning 3 or more in a row.
Of course you can.
Oh. Thanks very much, Tony. John. That was John. Robert. Jean.
Hello?
Yes, Jean.
It's you that brings Graham Taylor's name up all the while.
I haven't mentioned the man.
Listen, that bloke then just wanted to have an opinion and you wouldn't let him just because he said something else. Why can't you let everybody have a say?
I didn't mention Graham Taylor.
You did. You mentioned him at the start.
People sick.
Jean, all I did was say he will probably get the award 3 times running tomorrow.
Yeah, and because that bloke wanted to voice a different opinion, you didn't want to know.
It's not a discussion programme about him, Jean. There's no discussion to be made. He is the best manager in the country at the moment.
If they don't win the league, go out the FA Cup, go out the Zenith Cup, and he'll win nothing. Will he still be the best here?
And you'd love to see that, wouldn't you, Jean? You're the type of woman who'd love to see that, wouldn't you? Just out of spite. You're a spiteful woman, Jean.
Hey, that's outright. Hang on, Jean. Jean, you did bring it up at the start. I'm sorry to argue, but you said...
Same bloke on that programme, and it's Tom Ross, not you.
You're a spiteful woman, Jean. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not ashamed of myself. You ought to be.
We should be talking about success and good things and positive things and winning things and smashing and great and happy and jolly and you've come on the programme and you've been spiteful.
Oh, does you make everybody spiteful going on about Graham Taylor all the while?
I'm not going on about him.
You? Every programme.
All right. Thanks very much, Jean. Thank you very much. 1-1, Tom Ross.
Well, I'm amazed again that you have any doubt. You've seen the Albion play. You've seen how they give chances, and they do give you a lot of chances, and they're not particularly dominant in the air. Chris White's done well, but even his last few games have been suspect. There is nothing on God's earth going to stop Villa. I just can't see it.
Hey, tell Wimbledon Albion give chances.
No, that's a different situation.
Tell Charlton. Tell Charlton and Wimbledon that Albion give lots of chances.
Villa went down to Wimbledon and won quite convincingly at Wimbledon. So you can't use that logic. There is no. Well, you can do what you like. There's no logic to those things. Well, he beat him or he beat him. All I'm telling you is, looking at the two teams tomorrow, there's too much power in Villa.
You're right.
There's too much acuteness. There's too much sharpness. There's too much everything.
You're right.
Quality.
You're right.
And you say, stop Platt. Doesn't that sound easy sitting here saying it? You might not be the player liking to stop him tomorrow. There is no way West Bromwich Albion will beat Aston Villa tomorrow. No way.
Can someone run a tape? Will you run that tape machine behind you there? Please run that tape. Say that again. Is that going? Run a tape.
There is no way Aston Villa will lose to West Bromwich Albion tomorrow. No way.
Okay, stop the tape. Thanks very much. Let's go to...
Well, they've got the same problems as Birmingham City. Perhaps Birmingham have got to be even greater. But they're spending now 200,000 on Craig Shakespeare. Big deal. And they're trying to make it into a big deal. That's not a big signing anymore. And, we mustn't be surprised that Albion are struggling. And we mustn't be surprised that Birmingham are struggling when they're not prepared to compete in the marketplace for the best players. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I don't think Brian Talbot can keep saying, where's the money, where's the money? That's a fair point. But he has spent money. He has raised money, and he's spent money. Now, if
How much about?
A few of those players in the Albion team are his players. He has to take responsibility for that. He has to take responsibility for Colin West and for players like that.
You're right. I'm with you. No, hang on. You're right.
You're Parkin.
You're absolutely right. But what he can't take responsibility of is trying to get average players to compete with the best and win things. Because that's what it's about, We're not talking about whether the Albion are this place or that place in the league. We're talking about, and the Albion fans and Blues fans are complaining.
Did he buy
let me finish, if I could just finish, because it's on my mind, and it's very important to fans, this. Birmingham City and West Bromwich Albion are not being criticised for not doing well, for not winning things, for not getting promotion and not winning things. And if you want to win things, you've got to buy the best players. It ain't no secret football, It's about buying the best players. It's no Liverpool secret, no Aston Villa secret. They buy the best players.
Have you finished?
Thank you.
Let's give Brian Talbot your brain for a minute. Let's just think about that for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Talbot's thinking, these players aren't good enough. But I'm going to buy them anyway. Now, where's the sense in that?
No, you have to do the best you can, right? With the money available, of course you do. But I see in players like Tranmere. Tranmere are doing well, and they spend some money on players. Birmingham City's record signing is 300,000. That's a record signing.
I don't believe Birmingham City have got any money left to spend.
Probably right, but you've got to be able to compete in the marketplace. Yeah, and you've got to be prepared to be able to afford mistakes. If Birmingham City or West Bromwich Albion buy a player for 150,000 or 60,000, he's got to play in the team. Aston Villa have proved that you can spend $500,000 and make a mistake and leave him in the reserves till you can afford to sell him. That's a big club.
Richard, hello. Villa have got to learn, I think, to go through the 90 minutes and play that way, and not just get two up and then start to strut around the field, enjoyable though it was to watch, Richard.
Yep.
I think you've got to put a lid on things and say, well done, great, but 25 games didn't win any team anything in any league anywhere.
Oh, yeah. And you've got to adapt to style like tomorrow. It's going to be very difficult, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A team like Wimbledon.
Yeah, very difficult.
Very different from Spurs, eh?
Yeah, Wimbledon love it. Wimbledon love any team strutting around playing football. They lap that up. They'll gobble that up tomorrow, no question at all. Which is why Villa have got to be on their game and win the battles and then play.
And the fans have got to be patient as well, because it's all right away from mine, but I sense the Sheffield Wednesday game, they're getting a little impatient.
I think the players will be told in no uncertain terms that. They have already been told that. And by the way, I'll be there at Villa Park tomorrow doing the programme from Villa Park, so if you can't possibly go along, and I do encourage you to go along tomorrow, it'll be a good game, we shall be there at Villa Park tomorrow. Thanks, Richard. You were going to say something.
You're beginning to sound like a football manager.
No, you see, you're
mistaken. Beginning to sound like...
Can I just correct you?
Can I
correct you there? Football managers may be beginning to sound like me.
No, it's crazy. Villa Park and Villa players are not robots. They played extremely well at Spurs. And now you're beginning to try your damnedest to find some fault with them for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Rubbish.
No team is perfect. If Villa start to think they have found perfection, they would be wrong.
No, you're right, but you shouldn't criticise them for that performance. That was a complete professional performance.
Spurs were rubbish. Andrew, hello.
Interesting, George. I think a couple of weeks ago you were mentioning about Brian Robson. And I thought that, for me, that would be, like, probably for you, the ideal scenario.
Well, I would settle for Brian Robson being player manager at the Baggies, yeah. But I know there's a feeling that, he left us and all the rest of it for money, and Man U, but I think you've got to be bigger than that. And if there was any chance of getting Pop back in the Hawthorns, I would go for it.
You often say to me, not to daydream. Well, that's exactly what the Albion fans are doing. And yourself, if you think Brian Robson's going to come back to the Hawthorns as player manager, not for the foreseeable future. Eventually, maybe, but not for the foreseeable future. He'll get over the World Cup and the European Championships first for England, because he won't play for England as player manager of a second division team.
Yeah, but that isn't a million miles away. The World Cup is only a few months away.
But Albion's problems are immediate.
Thanks and large, the players have to look after themselves. They are adults, and they're going through a new phase of things.
Aren't you being unfair to a lot of people? I mean, Graham Taylor would admit last season was a disaster for Aston Villa. They just about stayed in the first division. Now, that wasn't a criticism saying he isn't a good manager or bad, but that's a statement of fact. You can't say that now people are beginning to enjoy Villa playing. They're just jumping on the bandwagon. They're being realists. Last season was awful. This season's good. What's wrong with thinking that?
No,
That's not jumping on the bandwagon.
I would actually turn it round. I would say those who jumped off the bandwagon last year were premature.
What do you mean?
Those rats who deserted the ship last year because they thought it was sinking, those are the ones who are reprehensible.
Those are I don't know what you mean by deserting the sink. All I know is that if Villa, and I saw them a lot last year, were awful at parts. And were lucky to stay up. Now they've got it right and are a good team. There's nothing wrong with thinking that, but just because you now enjoy what Villa are doing and you didn't last year doesn't make you somebody jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy. Ha, ha, ha. I'm enjoying it.
Would you rather Villa only had the 10,000 that were there last year watching them?
No, of course not.
Well, then what are you saying?
I'm saying those rats who jumped off the ship last year are reprehensible. Is that English?
No, not particularly. I don't quite understand it.
Take a break. Robert, hello.
Hello. I don't know if you saw the Spurs game or not.
Thanks, Robert. Brendan, thanks for your call. Gareth, hello.
All right, George.
Yes, Gareth.
All right, it's about the Villa.
Yeah.
All right, do you know they're on the top of the league?
Yeah.
Well, there's only one team who'll win that, but I'll tell you that in a minute.
Oh.
It's about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Well, if they do draw Oldham, it'll be hard on that plastic pitch.
Doesn't matter, does it? You've got to play somewhere. You can't worry about that, Gareth. You just take them as they come.
Don't worry, because I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh.
There's only one team who'll win that.
Gareth. Radio City is 051 226 4741. They have a phone-in programme on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Give them a call. Don't bother me again. Thank you very much. Thanks for your call. Nicky, hello.
Hello?
Yes, Nicky.
Just want to bring to a little point to her attention. I don't know if you remember September when Villa was in the doldrums.
Yeah, 17th.
You had a phone-in. And you asked for, criticism on Graham Taylor's management.
I would never do that.
No, you asked for people to phone in, and I remember.
You lying little toad! I would never ask for criticism of Graham Taylor.
No, and a majority of the.
Take that back.
And the majority of the phone callers were saying, "Oh, he's lost his way," and I'd just like to point to their attention. I bet there's a few red faces now listening to your radio show now.
Well, so they should, but I mean, I seriously, I would never do that. I didn't do that.
I'm not saying. I think you. I mean, the actual way you put it was, is Graham Taylor, you know, is he managing them wrong? And I think, and the majority of the phone calls, you must remember the show. The majority of the phone calls were saying, yes, the job's too big for him and all this kind of comment.
Well, I sit every week and I would never heard you say anything like that about Graham Taylor.
I think I know the programme you mean. I didn't say that or phrase it that way. But I think we probably sort of did a programme on Villa and you're saying most of the callers came on when they were 17th saying, hang on, you know, is this the man for the job?
Yeah, that's the programme.
Yeah. And I probably disagree with every single caller because I've done that for 2.5, 3 years. Telling you what kind of manager he is and what kind of job he'll do for Villa. And I've been the only one to do it. And I've seen the bandwagon go past now. They're all clinging on. Have you seen those trains? Have you ever seen those trains in India? Or those Japanese subway trains when they try and push them on? They've got pushers on the side of the platform to push them on. Have you seen that? That's the Villa bandwagon at the moment. They're pushing them on at Bodymore in Villa Park these days. They're hanging on by their fingertips onto this bandwagon now. Oh, good for them, fine. But they'll disappear as soon as things start to turn again, if they do turn again. You've got to be consistent in this world. You've got to back your feelings and stand your corner.
Yeah. I mean, I was at Crystal Palace match, 12,000. I mean, I'm having trouble to get a ticket now because I'm not a season ticket holder.
But by the same token, I don't blame fans for in a sense, being fickle. That's the wrong word. You're quite justified if you have come on this programme and had a go at anybody. Yeah, it's quite within your liberty to do so. But what I would say is, you know, you've got to also listen to someone like myself who knows more about the thing than probably anybody else. And I'm here to give advice if you listen.
Right, anyway.
Amazing.
Shame about that woman come down the motorway the wrong way. You did well to dodge her.
I could have missed out on the championship there, couldn't I? Yeah, that was that. I could have missed out.
It's amazing.
Okay, thanks very much.
Do you have problems on holidays, or do you just walk across the English Channel?
No problem at all. No ferry for me.
Going on to Paul McGrath as well.
Yeah, hang on. Can I just come inside? What do you mean? What's all this? It's getting sycophantic now. I mean, last season, Graham Taylor was doing a poor job, you have to admit.
No.
Yes, you do.
Don't tell me I have to admit anything. What are you, the KGB?
You know what I'm saying. I mean, I understand that he's done a marvellous job and he's a great manager, but you can't hide the fact that Villa were almost relegated last season. You can't hide that now.
And what you can't hide as well is that they stayed up in the First Division last year.
Thanks to West Ham.
A marvellous achievement.
Thanks to West Ham.
Depends how you look at it, doesn't it?
No, I'm not knocking it. And I know they'll take it wrong. All I'm saying is put things into perspective, for goodness sake. He's done a fantastic job, and he's the best manager around at the moment, and he's taken them, and I believe they're going to win the title. People aren't prepared to say, right?
But
last season...
Oh, there's the but. I thought it'd be coming.
No, he'd done a poor job. And people now are saying, oh, he was wonderful. Last year he wasn't. Neither were his team. But this year they're brilliant. Let's put things into perspective.
Nigel, be embarrassed and shy and get sent up. Now, and that's what's really bitten hard to me. Now they've gone back in the closet again, by and large, and that's really upset me because you know you want to see the Albion fans wearing the blue and white, and the Birmingham City fans wearing their blue and white, and the Villa fans wearing claret and blue. It's good for the area. It's good for us. It's good for everybody. And when you get shy and embarrassed about the team you support, for whatever reason, it's sad and what?
Come on.
It's despicable.
Any man. You're talking coconut? You're talking A1 coconut there if you're talking that you really believe that the 44,000 were going to still wear their blues and be Birmingham City fans. That was never going to happen. They were always going to hang them up after Wembley, quite a proportion of them. Oh. But the other ones, they're still, and we saw them at Highgate last night, thousands wearing their colours. And we saw them at Warwickshire today. I saw in the Warwickshire crowd, and they were singing in the Warwickshire embankment today. They were singing Keep Right On to the End of the Road and other things as well, right there at the cricket ground, and wearing their Birmingham City shirts. So I think you're just looking for things to have a go at Birmingham City about.
Did you fall asleep at the cricket?
No, I didn't fall asleep at all.
You're dreaming again.
And another thing about, just a little point I'd try to make before about West Bromwich Albion. Isn't it amazing that the style you say they've got to play to get out the third division is the style that got him into the 3rd division. Because at that last game of the season, he went for the big men up front and left Bannister on the bench, which just might have been the turning point against Bristol. Hang on.
Exactly my point. It gets you out the 3rd division.
It gets you in as well.
It doesn't keep you in the 2nd.
It got him in.
You've got to adapt and play some football in the 2nd division. Good point. Well made. Backing up what I said. John. Hello, John.
Who they bring on as a manager is how do they bring the morale of the players who have re-signed from under duress, some of them. Yes. They have re-signed to keep themselves employed. How do you build the morale back up to those players?
That's absolute rubbish.
Making a good point.
No, it's not a good point, because it's rubbish.
Carry on.
Well, I mean, I'm just making the point. You know, that's what I feel about it. And having spoken to one or two of the players, their morale is low. They all want to go and work. They all want to work hard. They all want to try and bring back that sort of aura that was surrounding them at the Wembley thing. Yeah. I mean, John Gow went through a very, very tight spell of scoring goals. He sort of got it all together, all on the right day. If that could have been followed up on, who knows what John Gow could have done this season.
I think you're right. I think what you need to, as a player and as a fan is to see the football club investing a little bit of the success back into the playing side, don't you? Not an awful lot. OK, there's lots of debts at Birmingham City, and it has to be run like a business. I appreciate all that. But you tell me, and Tom, you tell me, since all the money they made out of Wembley, and they must have made some, which and who and how has the football side gained? They haven't spent a penny on the football side so far, have they?
Well, not to my knowledge.
Well, I have to, first thing, and I know the caller is a box holder, and I know exactly who he is, and I think to say that there's disharmony and bad morale amongst the players is nothing short of scurrilous, because I was with the players last night, and in fact talking to them about the attitude, and Brian Caswell as well said the attitude, and the new man from Cambridge, Roy Johnston, the new physio, who's been at Arsenal and Cambridge, he said that the attitude of the players and their enthusiasm is second to none. Now, that is a fact. Now, I think you're trying to... that's a scurrilous attack on the players and Birmingham City to say that there's bad morale in the club, because it is definitely not true.
Well, I think, Tom, if you're saying that the morale throughout the players there...
I'm talking about the first team.
Well, I'm talking about first team. And if you're saying that the morale through all the players is all of one accord, I would beg to differ. Because, you know, you tend to hear, different things at different times that are said.
OK, John, I'll stop you there. Do you say the morale is high at Birmingham City?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. OK. Stephen?
Birmingham City, we're after a new manager, and of course we've got Lou McCarthy. And I suggested Bobby Gould on the radio to you.
Yes, I remember that.
Now, you said, yes, that's a good idea, Blues will have him. And Tom said, what about the Albion? And you said, no way. You says the Albion wouldn't have him. He's not good enough for the Albion.
I remember that.
And now
Would you let the man finish?
And now he's God, isn't he?
Who?
Bobby Gould.
Actually, I remember that. Can I just say, I remember you saying that. I remember you saying the Albion play football, they wouldn't want anybody like Bobby Gould. I remember that.
Now you're saying Albion are going to win this and win that.
Oh, yeah, I would like to say something, if that's all right, if that's okay, if people don't mind, if I'd like to say something here. You're right. I didn't want Bobby Gould for the Albion. You're quite right. I would say the majority of Albion fans did not want Bobby Gould. Okay?
Yeah, but now...
Okay.
To be honest.
What's to be honest?
You're on about Blues fans going back in the closet. Every time I turn on the radio and listen to you on the radio, you're absolutely ramming us to the ground. No wonder people are turning in the closet.
They're all in the closet with the telephone ringing up, but they're not going out in the streets wearing the blue shirt.
He's made a good point there, because you started off this season, well, a few weeks back, saying, and I said to you, why are you saying Birmingham are going to get relegated? And you says, number one, because they haven't got any players. Now, every one of that cup final team has re-signed. Every one of them has signed, and not under duress. Nobody could force Nigel Gleghorn to sign, but he signed.
Vince Overson,
but he was never coming back. He made it quite clear, the comatose kid, when he made that statement, he didn't want to travel all the time. So, they've all signed, so one big slice of your argument for relegation has been cleared up.
All right, they've got the same bunch of players that finished 13th. They've got no manager.
I tell you, I just hope... I'd love Birmingham to do well, but I'd hope they do well, just so I can see it plastered all over your face, that egg. Because that's what's going to happen.
Exactly. Now, it's the same with me and Birmingham City. You always hurt the ones you love. It's a
You never
known
said...
fact.
Hang on, she's right. You never said a good word before Wembley, and you never said a good word after Wembley. It was only Wembley that you said anything
you
good.
stood there and you said, who are you, a Villa?
Exactly, it was Blues Day.
It was Blues Day.
Exactly.
And as I say to you, you said Blues are the team of the moment.
And they were. And why then, Barbara? Yeah, all right, they were, but why has it all gone sour, Barbara?
They haven't gone sour. You're still talking about the same team. You haven't given them a chance. The season hasn't started yet.
Good point.
And can I just also say, I've got to say this because I listen to you week in, week out, and I've been lucky to get through to that. But the way that you treat Tom Ross in your programme is absolutely diabolical. And I'm afraid I just have to say it. I mean, you can't even have his say into it unless you just anything that you don't agree with, you just shove people off. And I think it's awful, and I don't think you should be talking about Birmingham City.
Well, I'm sure he's pleased you've stuck up for him now. I'm sure he needs your help, Barbara.
I don't think I'd be the only one. You know, and I mean, I'm saying for the sake of the people that you cut off the line as well.
Well, it's typical. He needs women to stand up for him. It's typical he needs women to stand up for him.
You just shut them off.
No, who shut you off?
No, you're not shutting me off. I'm saying for the weeks that I've been trying to get through to say this to you.
Right. Well, you've got through to me and you've hurt me, Barbara.
Well, that's okay.
That's all right.
I think you've hurt a lot of people in the past.
That's fair.
And all I'm saying to you is, please give the Blues a chance. The season hasn't even started yet.
Well said, Barbara.
Okay.
You've made an impression on me, Barbara. I have to say that. Yes, you have.
Well, I'm glad.
Okay. Thanks for your call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You were very pleasant then.